All right, so I want to factor this. What I do, if I can't see how to factor it in trig function, feel free to convert it and then convert it back. So here I have a common factor of x. Do you see it? Everybody has an x to give? So I can pull the x out of here, and I have 5x plus 1 equals 0. Everybody see how I factored that?
Yeah.
But now I'm going to replace it back with the cosine. So cosine of theta times 5 cosine of theta plus 1 equals 0. Well, what we do when we factor things in algebra is we say if x times 5x plus 1 equals 0, then either x equals 0 or 5x plus 1 equals 0. Okay, so then we solve each one for 0. Well, we're going to do the same thing with the cosine. If it's cosine times 5 cosine plus 1, then either cosine of theta equals 0 or 5 cosine of theta plus 1 equals 0. The first guy's already alone. Who has a cosine of 0? And you can check your unit circle for that one. Now I've got to leave the cosine alone over here. So that would be 5 cosine of theta equals negative 1. Don't know why my pencil's doing that, but fine. Let's just try again. I've been having pencil problems. Cosine of theta equals negative 1. I just move the negative 1 over, and then I divide by 5. Well, if you notice on your calculator, on your unit circle, there's no cosines of negative 1/5. Everybody understand?
Yep.
So you got to do this one on your calculator. Go ahead and do second cosine. I'm looking for an angle, so you hit the second button of negative 1 divided by 5. And you should get 101.5. They want them to 1/10.
Wait, could you say that all?
Find what theta is. You do second cosine of negative 1/5, and it'll give you the angle whose cosine is negative 1/5. And you get 101.5 to 1 decimal place.
I did not get that.
So 101.5, here's your 90, is kind of up here, right? Might be even closer to the y-axis. How far is that angle from the 180?
That minus 180 minus that thing.
Do it. So it's 78.5 this way would also give you a negative 1/5 cosine, because cosine is negative in the second and third quadrant. So I would take 180 and add 78.5 to it, and I would get 258.5, I believe. So this problem has those two answers that we found with the first part. It also has 101.5, and it also has 258.5 degrees. I don't know if you remember difference of two squares from Algebra 2 and Algebra 1, but when we factored this, this would be like 9x squared minus 4 equals 0. And if you have something that can be square rooted, what is the square root of 9x squared? It would be 3x, and you would put that in both parentheses. What's the square root of 4? You remember that?
Yeah, kind of.
That would be how you factor that one. So now you're going to put in the tangent. So it would be 3 tan of x, or theta, plus 2, and 3 tan of x minus 2 equals 0. So here we would have that 3 tan of x equals negative 2 divided by 3. And 3 tan of x equals 2 divided by 3. Does everybody get that? So we need to find second tan of negative 2/3. What is the second tan of negative 2/3 to 1 decimal place? Where else is tangent negative?
Third quadrant. Or, I'm sorry.
Second quadrant.
Second quadrant. So we're going to do this. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 180 minus 33.7 to get this number right up here. What do we get?
146.3.
146.3 is correct. So that's the second one. Now we're going to do second tangent of positive 2/3, and that's going to give us one here. What is that?
33.6.
That's 33.7.
Or
Don't round wrong, because you're going to be, and then it would be here too, so you would add 33.7 to 180, and you should get 213.7. So the four answers would be 33.7 and then 213.7. Everybody get that?
Yep.
These I like to do, I put x's in them. It makes it easier to see.
Oh, wait.
X squared plus 3x minus 4 equals 0.
This is
And
what we just exit, right?
that's right. So you do what times what is x, what times what is negative 4, and added together is 3. 4 negative 1. So then we write it back. Sine plus 4, sine of x plus 4, sine of x minus 1. And we say sine of x equals negative 4. What do you know about sine? The sign has to be lower or equal to 1 and above and equal to negative 1. So if it's not a bottom heavy fraction, it can't be the sign, except for 1 and negative 1. So now we have sine of x equals 1. Who has a sine of 1? And he's the only answer on this one.